Sanders could really be the guy that changes the locker room. Donovan Mitchell dropping 41 points.
Jose Ramirez is going to go down as one of the best Guardians players all time.
All right, what's going on, everyone? This is Victor on the Lake. We're back. It's been a while, had to get some stuff done. And yeah, Brady, what are your thoughts?
Hey, man, we've been upgrading.
Yeah.
Coach got a whole new setup. Try and be as consistent as possible. We're on a tight schedule, so it's tough, but we're gonna try our best, and just excited to be back, man.
So, our first topic today is going to be recap on the 2025 Cleveland Browns draft class. Brady, what are your thoughts?
Last episode we left off reflecting on we just had the draft. Looking back on it now, man, probably one of the, if not probably the best draft class, as of right now, that I've ever, witnessed the Browns have. Offensively, you got Harold Fannin, you got Quinshon, those obvious guys. Quinshon, kind of slowed down a little bit towards the end, but worst offensive line in the league. But Harold Fannin, man, y'all not ready for that offensive rookie of the year conversation, but I promise you he's there. And then you got Carson Schwarzenegger, man, probably one of the best linebackers in the league. Honestly, could be an all-pro candidate for how he's played. But so many other guys. Obviously, Shador, that's our guy. But you got to look at, the late round picks, too. They're making an impact. I'm excited to see what the future holds, bro.
Yeah, it's a great draft class. Definitely Andrew Berry's best. We know he had some rough years in the past. He gets, one good pick, and then the rest of the draft class is rough. Like drafting Jamari Thrash in the third round.
Yeah.
Woof.
Dylan Gabriel in the third round was a miss, too.
His third round picks aren't the best, But, definitely, in my opinion, and I think statistically wise, the best player out of that draft class was Carson Schwarzenegger, 33rd overall, first pick of the second round. Got some stats. He had 67 solo tackles. So he had 2.5 sacks and 2 interceptions. It's a great year for the young fella.
And he missed a game.
He did miss a game. 2 tackles away from the all-time solo sacks in a season for the Browns. Other than that, though, offensive side of the ball, like Brady said, Harold Fannin Jr., it's a great product. Love that dude. Straight out of Ohio, He's from here.
Bowling Green, man.
We love that.
Bowling Green.
And then, obviously, you missed on Dylan Gabriel. Mason Graham had a pretty good season.
How about Isaiah Bond?
Yeah, Isaiah Bond.
Listen.
I didn't even draft. That's like
wasn't
undrafted.
even a draft, but what a good sign.
I know.
It's
great.
We signed him, and I think a lot of Browns fans were kind of iffy about it just because the way he was in the media. He said he was gonna run what was it, he was gonna break the 40 record. He said he was gonna run a 4.2 or 4.1 or something. Ended up running a 4.4, 4.5. But man, did he become a deep threat and a weapon on this team. It was fun to watch because Dylan Gabriel did not involve him at all. But watching Shador and him, that was fun.
Yeah,
that was fun.
You didn't see anything from Isaiah Bond with Dylan Gabriel. I don't even know if he had a catch.
No.
Shador comes in. Yeah, that's what we do. Another one of those draft picks. We'll get back on to Shador later in the episode. But you know what? I'm going to say my opinion for later on in the episode when I have more time. Because time is winding down for us right now about these rookies. So we're going to go on
class, man.
Yeah, it's class.
Probably kept Andrew Berry's job.
It did.
Probably did.
I think if he doesn't have that draft class, if it was mediocre, I don't think he'd be with us right now. I think him and Stefanski would have gone out together. Next topic, just the season in general. Brady, how do you think the season was in general?
You know, I gotta say, it could have went a lot worse. I think if Gabriel never gets that concussion, I feel like we'd be reflecting a little bit differently. It was fun. I was really praying that Shedeur would get his chance, and he did. And he, with the offense that he has, he performed well. I'm a little biased because I love Shedeur, but I never, and I think you can go back to our previous. I disagreed with him. I never wanted him to go first round, but if you can get him after the first round, I think that was a great pick, and I think he performed as well as he could for a fifth round pick. Sixth round? Fifth round? Fifth round pick. Yeah, I mean, I'll take that. He was a good starter. He went 3-4 for us, 3-4, I believe, for us. And Dylan Gabriel won us 2 games. He was like 2-8 or something. So it's going to be an interesting offseason, and I'm excited to see what all comes with that, because I feel like we're going to be looking at a completely different Browns roster and staff next year.
Season-wise, I'm going to make this quick. Very interesting season. Obviously, you can't really do much when your whole team, the team stats are coming off of rookies.
Yeah.
You're not going to get much product. So, but I mean, that's great. If we were going to lose a bunch of games and stuff, glad to see them do well. Glad to see them carrying the team. First 3 games of the season, Joe Flacco. Not going to talk much about that. It was pretty rough. Then Dylan Gabriel comes in week 4, starts against the Vikings. Didn't look bad, and then the rest of his time here, let's just say, wasn't the best. Getting booed. Browns fans are passionate. If you start getting booed,
yeah,
you're cooked. And then Shedeur comes in against the Ravens. Rough game, but he kind of just got thrown in there, so you can't really count that one. But the starts he did have, I think he looked solid. I think he looked better than a 5th round pick. I think he looked like a 3rd round pick. I think you could have swapped Dylan and Shedeur. I think that's what they looked like. I'm excited to see some improvement out of Shedeur, and I'm excited to see what he does in this offseason, what the Browns do in this offseason, and see how much work he really puts in.
I think the biggest surprise of this season was Jerry Jeudy. I remember us talking about before the season started about how Jerry Jeudy has the potential to be a top 10 receiver. Mm-hmm. Obviously, that was with Joe Flacco being the gunslinger that he was last year, and obviously he wasn't. Well, for us he wasn't, but for the Bengals, he showed out a little bit. When you have Jamar and T. Higgins, it's a little easier to do that. But Jerry Jeudy leads the league in drops. And that's just, when you have a veteran receiver like that, you have a talent. They were a talented young receiver group, but Jerry Jeudy was the head of that, and he was terrible in the locker room. There's clips of him yelling at Shedeur, and he didn't make plays on the field. He just, I hope we don't keep him. I hope we don't miss on that, because I don't see why you would after the season he just had. But man, that was not what I expected from Jerry Jeudy this year.
Definitely a rough season from Jerry.
Yeah.
Curious to see what happens in the offseason.
Yeah.
Getting on to the next topic. So we got, Kevin Stefanski just got fired.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts on this.
Coaching candidates. I'll start.
Do you think it was the right move?
Yeah, I think it was time for a change. I think the locker room was starting to give up on him. I think he's a great coach. He's gonna go find another head coaching job, but I think it was just a locker room thing. I don't think I think like halfway through this season, the guys started like to give up. We should have beat the New York Jets. Should have beat the Tennessee Titans. Like those are games that I think were on Kevin's presence, not necessarily his coaching.
I can agree.
Candidates wise, I think if I'm Jimmy Haslam right now, I sell everything for John Harbaugh. I respect that guy, great coach. He's done amazing things through his 18 years. Through those 18 years, he's only had 2 quarterbacks. Love to see that. Won a Super Bowl.
He's a Cleveland kid. He's a Cleveland kid, man.
Yep. Yeah, his parents grew up in Cleveland. He was a Browns fan. His parents' honeymoon was to a Browns game. So I think you'd have to imagine that on his list, I would assume that the Browns are a top 3 team, if not number 1. We'll see in this next week what happens with him. I know you said you wanted to take a week off, figure stuff out, and then start interviewing. But if we don't get Harbaugh, my second option that I'd really love to see is, even though he didn't have a great time in Detroit, I'd love to see Jim Schwartz as the head coach. I think the locker room really loves him. Even though defensive mind is not really what we need an offensive mind. I think Tommy Rees got it at OC, and I think Schwartz, our defense would just be insane because then you bring in another defensive coordinator, and who knows what you got there. But yeah, I'd say Jim Schwartz or John Harbaugh are my 2 options for the Cleveland Browns this offseason. Brady, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree and disagree with you here. I think when I look at the Stefanski situation and the way that he's leaving, I think it's pretty much the exact same situation as Harbaugh's situation. Mm-hmm. I look at them and I think, okay, these are 2 great coaches. I just don't think. I think for both of them, it was time for them to go. Harbaugh had won, I think, 3 playoff games in like the last 8 years with one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and Stefanski's made 2 playoffs and had 1 win in the last 6 years. So it was just, they're 2 great coaches, and I think it was time for both of them to go. It was just their time. Replacement-wise, I do want Harbaugh. I agree with everything you said on Harbaugh. That's definitely the number 1 on my list. Jim Schwartz, I don't want Jim Schwartz to become the head coach. I feel like what we have right now on the defensive side of the ball is about the only thing the Browns have. Our special teams is garbage, as you saw. Our offense isn't great, but I guess you could say it's trending in the right direction. But it's still not there. I like what we have on the defensive side of the ball. I don't really want to change that. My number 2 option, honestly, I would love to see Cliff Kingsbury come over to the Browns. I wouldn't mind that. If that's what happened, I wouldn't be opposed. Now, I don't think there's a lot of options out there right now that I love. Kubiak from the Seattle, I wouldn't hate. I think that he would be in my top 5. John Gruden would be fun.
I'd love that. I don't
John
think that's
Gruden
possible.
would be fun. Is it going to happen? 99% no, but
that would be fun.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
Dion.
Ooh, Dion.
Dion
That's an interesting
also
story.
would be really fun. Do I think it'd work? No. But it would be fun, and I think Shador would play his best football.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know. If Shador plays his best football, you could see an offense that's totally different. But I think it'd be fun. It'd be fun to see.
It would be. All right, moving on to the next topic. Season's over. Going to the draft. Draft's in Pittsburgh this year. Me and Brady may attend. It's in question. Who knows?
We might.
Might have to record that experience.
That'd be fun.
Brady, what do you think about the upcoming draft?
So The draft this year is super interesting because the positions we need right now, besides wide receiver, the positions we need, the draft is not great for. The quarterbacks in this draft, besides Mendoza, I don't like anybody else. Mm-hmm. Mendoza's my only quarterback that I like. I don't like Dante Moore. I don't like him.
Mm-hmm. I lost the job to Dylan Gabriel.
I don't think he should be a top 5. I don't think he should be a top 5 pick. Will he? Probably. I could be a little biased because he was supposed to go to Notre Dame and he decommitted, but he's just not a great quarterback. So quarterback, I don't love. The strengths in this draft, linebackers are great. We don't need linebackers, unfortunately, once JOK comes back. Stay tuned.
That'd be great.
But wide receiver, I mean, I feel we have a lot of options. I'd love to see Jordan Tyson. I would love to see Carnell Tate. Mm-hmm. I think there's a lot of wide receivers we could go at 6, but I feel like you have to go wide receiver. I don't want an offensive lineman top 10. I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
I think we need talent, and Carnell Tate has talent. Jordan Tyson is talent. Mm-hmm. But we have another pick in the first round, so I think that's where you go lineman.
Yep. I agree. I think at 6 you draft a receiver or you trade back. I don't think there's any other option than receiver at 6.
Yeah.
And I know Andrew Berry doesn't like to draft receivers high, and he likes to trade for them or get them in the 3rd round, but I don't know. I think Carnell Tate's got that talent. He's one of those Ohio State receivers. Jordan Tyson, his brother, plays for the Cavs, so that'd be
that would be cool. I'd like to see Jordan Tyson.
Yeah, either one of those, I'd be fine at 6. I think it's a pretty easy pick, and if you're not going to go there, I'd just trade back and then get. Yeah. I don't know where Mekhi Lemons is going to go. I don't know if he'll go.
I assume first round.
Yeah. Probably like late first round. Maybe.
Yeah, mid to late first round.
If you trade back and get him, I wouldn't mind that either.
Yeah, no.
Then get. I think with the Jacksonville pick, you got to take your O-lineman.
Yeah. Have to.
Other than that, the rest of the draft, I think it's got to be mostly offense.
It honestly, it feels too obvious at 6 that something weird's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like last year.
Traded back.
I didn't really see that happening. I'm glad we did because I do like Mason Graham's player. Travis Hunter obviously is not panning out super well. Mm-hmm. He's just too small, and two-ways in the NFL they're not neat unless you're a superstar corner and receiver, which I don't think he's a superstar at either spot. He's just too small. And I think Andrew Berry did do the right thing, trading down, getting another pick this year, which we desperately need at the offensive line position. Honestly, I would go that pick at 26?
Mm-hmm. Whenever they raise, I guess.
It's like 26.
Yeah, at the best 26, I think.
And honestly, I would take O-lineman there. 2nd round, I'd also go O-lineman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would probably do that. Mm-hmm. I think you could help out the safety position a little more. I wouldn't mind taking a younger safety under, Grant Delpit. That'd be nice. Mm-hmm. But I think wide receiver, O-line is definitely the focus for this draft. And if you are going to trade up, it'd be weird, but trade up for Mendoza, you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. That's the only quarterback I'd be okay with taking, though.
Same. I agree.
What we got next? Oh. Well, I guess we did just talk about it a little bit, but the quarterback situation in Cleveland is interesting right now. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there's one and only answer. I think it's pretty obvious. I think you got to give Shedeur the whole year next year. I think him and Deshaun Watson should compete at camp, and if somehow whatever coach we hire thinks Deshaun looks better than Shedeur and thinks it's worth it to play Deshaun over a rookie that has potential, so be it. But I think Shedeur has to be the favorite going into the next year. I think in the draft, maybe you could draft like a 5th round QB just to draft one. But if you do that, then I think Dylan Gabriel's time here is done. But I think the 3 quarterbacks next year, I know a lot of people are saying it can't be, but I think the 3 quarterbacks next year have to be Shedeur, Deshaun, and Dylan Gabriel. I think those have to be the three. I think that's the only answer. I'd be shocked if they went otherwise, unless if they trade up to get Mendoza, which, if that's the case, then Shadeur's done, which I'd hate to see that.
I know you disagree with me on this, but I'm low-key not opposed to Kyler Murray. And if we go get Kyler Murray,
No.
if we get Kyler Murray for the right price, I'm really not opposed. Now, I think you still have to, I'm also not opposed to Deshaun Watson. I could be insane for that, but I'm a believer. Dude, when you look at him with Houston, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and I know a lot can change in a couple years, but like the talent is still there. It's just like in his head, can he make the right decisions? But gotta say, I'm intrigued with Kyler Murray. I'm just a little intrigued. I would like to see how that goes.
So, like, if you bring in Kyler Murray, would Kyler be your one and then Shedeur got to prove himself again? Or would Kyler be your two and you give Shedeur the favorite and then Deshaun the three, I guess?
I would start Kyler.
You'd start Kyler.
Now, here is my thing with Kyler. If John Harbaugh came to Cleveland, I don't think it would work with Kyler Murray.
I don't think it would either.
If you look at him with Lamar Jackson, it just never worked out. Yeah. And I feel like it would just be the same story with Kyler Murray. So, if Harbaugh came to Cleveland, maybe I'd not lean towards that. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see Deshaun Watson play football. Yeah. Even if you start Shedeur, you give him a couple games. If he's performing, you got to keep him in. But if he's not,
Deshaun,
put 4 in.
I'm not opposed to that either.
Put 4 in.
And you got to remember, if John Harbaugh comes to Cleveland, the Ravens wanted to draft Shedeur. That's another thing. Shedeur told them, "Don't draft me," but they were interested in him, and that means Harbaugh was somewhat interested in him.
Yeah.
So you got to think about that.
Stefanski was not.
Stefanski was not, and I guess Stefanski was also not interested in Deshaun, but that's a different story. It kind of seems like haven't gotten a say, but
yeah,
it's another story. Moving on. I don't think we got any other Brown stuff to talk about.
Let's shift over to some. We can talk about the league a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
At this moment, we're heading into Wild Card Weekend, which is going to be interesting. AFC's really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville's been heating up. You obviously have teams like Buffalo. Mm-hmm. I hate to say it, but the Steelers always find a way to frickin' win. So I honestly wouldn't be surprised by that either.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't love Denver. I don't love Denver. Like, I think any of those 7 teams in there can win it. Any of them. NFC, Seattle, Los Angeles for me.
Yep, same. I have full confidence in I think the Seahawks are going to go. Shout out Sam Darnold. I mean, that dude, that's a story right there. If he ends up winning a Super Bowl, that's a documentary.
I think I believe this is a stat. He's one of 3 quarterbacks.
I think it's
with
2.
Is it 2?
I think it's him and who is it?
There's one other.
We'll figure it out.
He's one of 2 or 3 quarterbacks with back-to-back 13-win seasons. And yeah, you can have the roster. I don't think that Seattle has a insane roster to where Sam Darnold can just be a game manager. Sam Darnold's been playing football. You got to give it to him. His basic answer, Seattle or Rams, but that's just kind of where it is right now. That division's disgusting. I could also see the Niners making a run. It's the Niners. You never know. So that'd be the NFC's, but the AFC, man, that's gonna be fun to watch.
So I think Sam Darnold is the only quarterback. I think he is Sam Darnold's So you have A-Rod, Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, and Brett Favre. But I think Sam Darnold is the only one to win it with 2 different teams. So shout out Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
AFC side of things, my favorite. It's very tricky over there. I think. Oh God, I think the Patriots, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they look good. Drake May is good, and Drake May is my favorite to win MVP. Patriots. I think Jacksonville could make a run too.
That's what I'm saying. I'd have to look at the bracket again, but from what was it, earlier 2010s when Blake Bortles played against Tom Brady in the AFC Championship. Shoot, we could have a Trevor Lawrence, Drake May showdown.
That'd be fun.
And I can definitely see it. I feel like those are I can see those two teams making a run. But I could also see Buffalo bouncing the Jags in round 1. Like that's definitely like I could see that.
Yeah.
I believe this is a gambling stat. Don't gamble, kids. When the over on it's since like 2017 when the over is 49, over under is 49.5. I think the Jags are 0-27. So that's something to look out for. Bills money line if you want to bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, shoot, it's a different Jags team, man. You never know.
Moving on.
Nothing.
Going on to our last topic of the episode. One topic of NBA news happened yesterday, I believe.
Yep, last night.
Last night during the game, Trae Young was traded
for a bag of chips. Atlanta got 0 picks.
Yeah.
0.
That's insane.
They got a 35, I think he's 35, 35-year-old CJ McCollum, who's probably got 2 more good years left in him, if that. And they got a white role player for Trae Young. I don't think Trae Young is he's a good basketball player. I give it to Washington. I think Washington won that trade. I mean, Alex Sarr is looking better. I like Washington for that trade, and I think they can be, they lost by 30 last night, but I think they'll be something. And it was funny because I watched Trae Young say bye to his teammates on court mid-game, so that was kind of funny. That's some Trae Young stuff.
Yeah,
He got some booze, got some exciting fans. Yeah, it's crazy.
I liked watching Trae Young in Atlanta. Watching him go into Madison Square Garden against the Knicks.
Classic.
That will forever be a great rivalry between him and the Knicks fans. I haven't watched much NBA, but I think good things are ahead for Trae Young. I think
no picks. I can't
no
believe
picks
it.
For the Falcons.
I can't believe it.
No, not the Falcons. The Hawks.
No picks. You could have got 2 first for Trae Young. Come on.
Little bag of chips.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't love it for Atlanta.
Washington robbery.
Yeah.
You got any other thoughts of what we've talked about today?
Cavs better start turning up. Donovan Mitchell's playing at an MVP level, though.
Yep.
But, Mobley and Jared Allen, see ya. Those are my thoughts. I know you love Evan Mobley, but I'm not going to say it, but he's a wussy.
Yeah.
He's a wussy in the paint. That's what he is. But it's whatever.
It's for another episode.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you guys for tuning in today.
Till next time.
Till next time, this is Victor on the Lake.
See y'all next week.
Peace.